Hey there, everyone. This is your girl Cher, the number one self-carepreneur in the world. And so that's pretty much as an entrepreneur, focusing on self-care. And when it comes to self-care, it's not just the luxury of self-care. It's almost like just as you're studying your craft, you're studying your game, you're also studying yourself, and it's pretty much of the things that you're doing to make yourself better so that you can have the energy, the clarity, and all of that good stuff, not only in running your business, but to pretty much run your life because you can't separate the two, cannot. And so, what I want to do is to focus, is to talk about strengthening your focus and also to remind you about Fortitude Spirit Rituals. This is every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. I'm going to make sure I put that in. Again, on Saturday mornings. And I'm on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. So I think I'm going to focus on Instagram right here. And so make sure you go ahead and register because there is a limited sale on entering this. So go ahead and get the deal now before prices go back up, okay? So let's talk about strengthening your focus. We know that when it comes to life, there's so many different things that can easily distract you. And pretty much like when it comes to Fortitude Spirit Rituals, again, these are practices, exercises, rehearsal, things to really help build us up. Because one thing that I realized as a person, even as a therapist, is that how much do we really practice? How much effort do you put into place in strengthening of how to overcome adversity? Most of the time it just happens, right? Mm, and I can remember when I was younger, and I guess you could say sometimes our parents, they try the best that they could and try to teach us certain things of how to, let's say, build our character, take up for ourselves. But we know as an adult, the things that we have endured, and I'm looking at myself, it's like, wow, how much preparation did I have? Because even as a therapist, it's almost kind of like you're doing it kind of like third hand. And yes, one of the things they say, oh, go to therapy, but this is not even about going to therapy. This is just about dealing with life. You know what I'm saying? It's about dealing with life. And so it's like, how do you handle disappointment? How do you handle rejections? How do you overcome in doing the things that needs to be done? And then how do you focus? Sometimes, especially for individuals who are parents, who are mothers, who are fathers, and all the different hats that you may have in that. How do you maintain that focus? And of course, we know meditation is one way, but sometimes you may not always have that quietness, and that helps. Continue your breathing exercises, continue meditating, continue, the whole aspect of yoga, but also to be able to focus when there's noise, when there's distractions. And so, how do you do that? Do you have a practice in which you're able to do that? It's kind of like people are pulling you in so many different directions. And do you have that moment to breathe so that you can have clarity in making a decision so that you will not be pulled in the wrong direction? What I was about to say earlier is that I can remember when I was younger, and pretty much what I remember when it comes to my focus, it's almost like if there was a prize, meaning like a certificate or trophy or something tangible, that it was much easier to sit and focus. But it's kind of like always cramming. And so, how much do you really learn when it comes to you cramming? But also to be able to be in that moment and focusing your attention of what is needed. And the whole purpose of all of this, when it comes to fortitude, spirit ritual, is really training yourself so that you can be control of you. Because there's so many things that are happening all at the same time, but you can only truly focus on, I'm not going to say what's in front of you, but what's a priority for you. And then here we are in this entrepreneurship world, even in this thing called life, but we're not training ourselves. How many of you do that? How many of you really, really, truly? I was about to say something else. Really, really, truly train yourself, rehearse, pretty much it's kind of like, how can I handle this thing? And of course, when it comes to manifest a thing, we want to be mindful of what we say and how we view things. But it's not even about that. It's more so is being present of where you are, and also of having the ability to make decisions and to be okay with that. And so the more that you put yourself in a position in which you're challenging yourself, this is what, fortitude spirit rituals are all about. It's more about you challenging yourself so that when life challenges you, you have more control over it. And so this coming Saturday, which is tomorrow, in that we will focus on focusing, is to be able to focus on something despite the distractions that may be around you. Because the more that you're able to do that, the more you'll be able to handle the things in your business, the things as a leader, the things in your life, so that they will not be so much overwhelming stress for you, because sometimes it can be that way. So it's almost kind of like you really taking care of your nervous system so that you can be immune to the distraction. That's basically what it is. And even when it comes to my practices, am I 100% all the time? Not 100%, you know what I'm saying? And so I know that if there have been a time in which I have struggled with this, because majority of the time, especially for high achieving individuals, those who are, highly functioning, especially if you achieve some things, and especially for those of us who are degreed, we have this blind spot that everything is okay. Believe me, I was like that too. At the time, everything was okay until it was not. Because when things hit you, that's when it's not okay. And so this is how you prepare yourself. It's just pretty much just preparing yourself to be the best that you can be. This is what this is all about, so that you are pretty much at the level where you want to be, and so that when the good things come, you can enjoy it, and when things are not so pleasant and when things are challenging, that you are able to withstand that without having all of the stress and feeling overwhelmed. Even though sometimes you may still be able to feel some of it, but you have more control over it. And the thing is, too, the other day I was watching a documentary on Tubi, and oh man, that thing really spoke to me, and it just really validated why I do the things that I do when it comes to self-care. Because here we are talking about, oh, we're breaking generational curses and generational trauma, and yes, there are a lot of you who are definitely dedicated in your healing, but also remember that we is very, it's also beneficial to have challenges in your life so that, and you can create these challenges. And this is what Fortitude Spirit rituals are all about, is creating different challenges. Even when it comes to yoga, going to your edge. But I'm like, going to just a little past your edge, you know? And to be able to do those things and know that you're going to be okay. So create your own challenge so that you can be on top of your game, so that when life be lifing, when things be happening literally at the same time, and especially as a business person, especially as an entrepreneur, you was like, okay, John take this, Bobby take that, um, all kind of things. You'll be able to point people, places, and things in the right direction without you breaking, without you feeling so overwhelmed. And so there's no way that we can get out of this space, or really to be able to be as healthy as we want to be, and to bring in the generational gifts, the generational treasures, without practicing, without having rituals in your life so that you can be on top of the game. All of this is so that you can be the best version of yourself. I am at a point now, it's like, let me find out how I can be the best that I can be. But the only way that you can do that is to really challenge yourself. So, who is game for that? Who's going to join me in challenging yourself so that you can really, really focus on the things that really matter? And when you're able to, it's almost kind of like be distracted or have distractions on purpose and still focus, you'll be able to accomplish anything. That's where it's at. And so this is what, Self Care U Academy is all about, so that you can continue to learn all about yourself. Yes, it's the niceness of learning things. Oh, it feels so good. But it's also that other part of challenging yourself so that when life be life, and even I hit so hard, and it takes effort, in order to be the best leader, in order to be the best business person, in order to be the best entrepreneur, in order to be the best you, is so that you can sit here and have conversations, do the things that you don't feel like doing, even in getting up at 8 o'clock on a Saturday morning, Eastern Standard Time, doing the things that is best for you. Having routines is very important. Challenging yourself is very important, because what does that do for you? That is going to take you to the next level. And this is really breaking those generational curses, generational trauma, so that you can do something different and not always be so routine. So join me every week on Saturday morning at 8 o'clock. And one thing I just realized, let's see, it is not in there. Anyway, uh, go to bit.ly Fortitude Spirit Rituals, and that is bit.ly, then / Fortitude Spirit Rituals to register. And on Instagram, there is another post where you can pretty much scan the barcode so that you can register as well. And make sure you share this with others who you feel that can benefit, because in order for you to be at your ultimate is to challenge yourself. And again, this is what this Fortitude Spirit Rituals is all about. So, who's joining me? Can't wait to see you there.